Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. Well, we got massive news today. I mean, the news flow, it keeps on flowing. You're going to love this show because it's just going to be alpha drop after alpha drop. We're getting ready, laying the infrastructure in crypto, particularly Bitcoin and Ethereum, for the big bull market ahead. It's going to be truly glorious, guys. Fantastic stuff. So we're going to get into some of the big announcements today, including Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain's got some big stuff happening. Of course, around LibertySwap, they are just continuing to be the A-team and just keep rolling out big stuff, one thing after another, and sprinkling a ton of small stuff in between. Truly glorious time. So we're going to get into all that. Hope you guys enjoy the show. Don't forget, let's get in the chat there and say hello, all that good stuff. We love that when you get in the comments, so do that. Before we get into all the show content, though, let's kick it into gear with the socials. If you're not subscribed on YouTube, just take a moment to do that as you come into the show. We're on the Crypto Night Show. We're on the Superman Crypto channel. We're on the Pulse Chain X channel, 3 YouTube channels. Smash subscribe if you're watching any of those and hit the bell for future videos. The other thing, of course, is if you are on X, just scroll at the top of the profile here and smash the follow button and help us grow. The more people we reach, the bigger the show, and that's going to be pretty awesome. So the other big thing, of course, is if you haven't joined our strategy club, if you want all the intel as it flows in all day, then get in there, folks. It's just over $1 a day. You can either hit the QR code in the video description or go to the links in the video on YouTube or pinned to the top of here on X. You can see join the strategy club now. You will go through the Whoop store, one of the big payment platforms there, and join up to our private club in Discord. We've got over 1,000 members in Discord, and you can join today in the Strategy Club, which is a special club inside the Discord. So it's just over $1 a day to join up, about $35 a month. Fantastic value for all the hottest crypto intel as we head into this bull market. General Discord membership is $12.50. We have heaps of resources. We've got a crypto helpline and just a great bunch of people. So it's a great place to be. Hope you guys enjoy it. All right, so let's kick into the content and see what happened with the stock market. Obviously, we're covering Wednesday's results. We're obviously in a very choppy period at the moment, a lot of uncertainty, up and downs in the market. Obviously, we've got the Iranian conflict going on. I think, largely speaking, the battle is essentially won. Now we're getting into this laborious part. We've still got the army roaming around, right? The IRGC, you've probably still got some of their tunnels and some of their rockets in there as well. And of course, that's on a hunt and seek approach now. So they'll be hunting those. There'll be the remaining ones that we're talking about. They'll be getting a lot of the Iranians themselves dodging in where those sites might be, as well as, of course, targeting the officers of the IRGC military. So all that stuff's probably going on right now. And of course, that's what we expect to see happen. We've obviously got a big surge in the Marines getting there. Probably a lot of special forces like the Rangers and the Delta forces going in there. And they're probably going to use quite a bit of new technology too, is my guess. Maybe some of the stuff we saw in Venezuela could change things very quickly. So they're all there to put pressure on the Iranian negotiations going on at the moment. So it does look like Iranian leadership is quite fractionalized, and that's starting to break down. So it's kind of that last salvo for the Iranian regime to try and hold on as it gets into fractions, and of course potentially could fall apart with a revolution happening within maybe 3 or 4 weeks or something like that. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously the military is still there, and it's got a big army, right? So and of course city by city. So there's a lot of stuff to play out there, but certainly there looks like a lot of pressure coming in on them to make a deal. So we'll see what happens there. At the moment, you've got parts of the regime talking about rejecting a deal. Other parts, of course, that seem to be in alignment with doing negotiations with Trump. Talk about the House Speaker and other candidates there. And of course, Trump with some sort of 15-point plan or something like that effect. So we'll see where it all lands. So far, the market's just trying to judge that scenario, right? So it was about scenarios and how that impacts market value. So at the moment, that's kind of where we are overall. Let's jump into the actual results though for Wednesday. We've got the Dow Jones actually up by 0.2%, so good news there. 304 points to 46,428, where the S&P 500 is up 0.5%, 35 points to 6,590. We got Nasdaq there up just over, 0.77%, 168 points to 21,929. So we've got a bit of a recovery happening there. Let's have a look at the US dollar. US dollar sitting at 99.5, not over 100, but still relatively high. Remember when Trump came into power back on the 20th of January last year, it was at 108. So US dollar definitely devalued there. The volatility index is easing, down 6%, 1.6 points to 25.3. So the risk on is back in the market, for at least for today. It's off and on and off and on. Let's look at the commodities. West Texas is up 1.2%, $1.12 to $91.45. Brent oil is under $100, so that's kind of a good thing. It's up 0.5% though, 28 cents to $98.27. Now, talking about oil, obviously we've got certain countries in the West, particularly those leftist governments with net zero policies that are, really, basically they're idiots, right? So they're idiots, and they've got a lot of issues with supply. Some of the countries, a lot of self-inflicted stuff where they don't develop their own resources. Australia is a good example of that, and of course, heading towards probably some sort of rationing, and of course regulatory rationing potentially kicking in as well. So we'll see how that all plays out, and gives opportunity to, of course, the common sense rising conservative parties like One Nation. So we're excited about that. So keep a lookout for that. Gold at the moment is at $4,560, down 0.5%, and we've down $25. Silver at $71.90, down 1%, and of course they had a little bit of a bounce yesterday after the previous day's fall. And that's kind of where we are right now with the market. So that's kind of what else can we say about it? I think that's kind of it at the moment. The ceasefire, obviously people are looking for that, and so we'll see how that goes. Obviously we've got Steve Witkoff there for the Middle East Special Envoy, and Jared Kushner there working on a mechanism, and they've got some sort of 15-point plan they're working on there. Obviously one of them includes not developing nuclear weapons. So there we go. That's the place. You got some elements of Iran pushing back. So I do think that the leadership is fractured in Iran. And of course, when you've had the top leaders and the supreme leader, and then second round of leaders taken out, and then you're left with you start fractioning. It gets into factions there and breaking apart. And of course, communications are difficult. You got basically targeting other leaders, so they're still putting the pressure off by hunting them down. You got the IG stops in the street getting hunted down, moving into tunnels so they won't get killed. You got a lot of Iranians, dobbing them in because 89% of the Iranians don't want the regime in power. They've been oppressive for 47 years. And so you've got all this stuff playing out. You've got some internal sort of resistant movements, taking out taking out Iranian soldiers at stoppages and bases and things like that. So it really is pretty difficult there to be in the regime. Obviously, it's a huge military, so we're not discounting that at all. It's a massive military left. Obviously, everything else is being blown up. And all they've got left are these tunnels. Some tunnels left with some of the heavy weapons, elite weapons, one would argue. And we saw some of those being used as well that go 2,500 miles. So there's lots of stuff happening in that mix, and we'll see how it plays out from here. See where they can reach a deal without destroying all the energy infrastructure in Iran, because obviously the Iranian people are good people, Persians, and want to break free, and will need that oil money for rebuilding and making a modern civil society. So that's kind of the lay of the land right now. So we'll see how that all turns out. Obviously bullish for the markets if we do get a quicker resolution than later. Let's jump into, apparently war can be good for growth stocks and software and crypto. So you take your pick there, but it certainly will be better overall for people. Obviously, wars are not a great thing, but sometimes it's necessary to get rid of particular evils. So that's kind of where we are right now. All right, so let's jump into the crypto market. Crypto market at the moment is sitting at, let's refresh the CoinGecko because, it gets a bit stuck sometimes. We're sitting at 2.52 trillion. Now, I always like to reflect on that because it's such a small market cap. If gold's like 40 trillion, stock markets, excluding the Magnificent Seven, is about 40 trillion, and then you got about maybe 35, 40 trillion for the Magnificent Seven. These are sort of comparisons. So we're still small compared to all those, and certainly small compared to the big bond markets, the money markets, the private credit markets, which are in the hundreds of trillions, and the property market in hundreds of trillions, etc., let alone the derivative markets. So it's a huge, very small market. So we've got a big opportunity. So when you see Michael Saylor talk about, moving to 100 trillion this cycle, 200 trillion, 400 trillion in the future, this is what he's talking about, this re-rate. But you need capital flow in to pump up this valuation, and the liquidity needs to be increased so that you can get the big players coming in and out via Wall Street, right? So that's pretty much it, and Main Street, I guess. So let's have a look at the Bitcoin at the moment. We've got the Bitcoin up 0.7%, 71,360. Not too bad at the moment. We've got Ethereum there at $2,169, up 0.4%, below the key sort of level of 2,200, which we'll look at in a moment. BNB at the moment up 1.1% at $647 at number 4. XRP number 5 down 0.5%, $1.41. Solana at number 7 up 0.5% at $91.86. Tron is up 2.6% at 31.4 cents. And then we've got Figure Halleck there sitting at number 9, down 0.9% at $1.02. And then Dogecoin there up 0.8% at 9.6 cents. So those are the top 10. Best performer is Tron at the moment, followed by BNB. And over the last week, the best performer is Tron, followed by Solana, actually, for the best performer in the top 10. Top 100 performer, we've still got Siren doing a massive bounce back. OMG, it's been volatile with the pump and the dump and the pump. But it's up 157% for the week, 120% today. Remember, I think yesterday it was down like 50, 60%, and now it's back up 119. So what the hell? Welcome to crypto, guys. We've got Mencor there at 31% at the moment, up for the week. All of that is today, up 44%. Bitcoin Tower up 26.9% for the week. Artificial Super Alliance up 15%, and Pi Network, that Dog's Breakfast Pi Network there, is up 9%. Now there's some diehards there with Pi, but it's only because they got bags, right? They only got bags. It's actually a terrible network. But we've got lots of things like that in crypto, right? That get valued up, but are actually terrible for people and freedom and the rest of it. So that's where we are right now in those top 5. All right, so we've got top 1,000. We've got Siren in there, obviously, Block Street and Mencor. Trending overall, we've got BitTensor, Rain, and Pudgy Penguins. Of course, Pudgy Penguins, popular meme, is always often trending, and of course, Tom Lee loves it. We also got BitTensor Tower there after, doing really well after its technical achievement in AI, and of course, getting a lot of coverage there from in the big video, a live show that they did with what am I trying to say? NVIDIA CEO. So that was picked up big time, and it's done okay so far. So those are the markets overall. Let's jump into some of the big news. I said to you, we've got big news coming. It's continuing to flow, guys. Wall Street, Main Street, traditional markets, which is where most of the value is in the world, is setting up the blockchain and crypto for a massive run. They're coming, guys. They're flooding in. The banks are leading the way. The investment firms are leading the way. It's really starting to flood in. They are buying shares up in all the big digital asset treasuries. They're setting up their own ETFs to tap into their client list. They've got a number of different type of clients, from wealth clients to directed, RRAs. We've got all those sort of things happening at the moment, and it's just funneling money through, and it's just warming up. We're just getting ready. So it's pretty cool. We got, of course, record M2 supply. We got manufacturing finally over 50 and expanding. Things are heading in the right direction. We've got the White House and the in Congress and the Senate all starting to push through regulation, the final regulation steps for crypto. It's all game on, guys. So let's have a look at some of the cool stuff. All right, so we heard today that the SEC chair, Paul Atkins, says tokenization innovation will be exempt. Will be an exemption for crypto firms. Could arrive within weeks, guys. This is fantastic news. Obviously, tokenization is one of the key mega themes for crypto. Of course, with a lot of the traditional markets coming in, or players coming into crypto through tokenization, and that means tokenization everything. Money market, debt markets, equity markets, the actual companies themselves. You name it, property, everything's getting tokenized, and it's well in excess now of 55 billion. I think it must be probably pretty close to 60 billion now, and that's just the beginning. So yeah, exciting times. We're talking about trillions of dollars. It's going to be coming in for that in due course over the next year, 2 years, 3 years. It's going to be pretty awesome. I think targets are for 1.5 trillion. I've seen some targets that for next year, but look, it could just be absolutely insane, the amount of value that's going to come over. Absolutely insane there. All right, so that's some of the cool stuff there. Awesome news. Now, the other big news that we had was a Trump-backed proposal to allow crypto and private equity in the $12 trillion 401k plans. So 401k being retirement plans in the United States, has cleared White House review. So that's pretty awesome. So we're opening up new markets, trillions of dollars of markets here coming in with a Labor Department rule expected soon. So we're getting a lot of really positive stuff. We just had the SEC and the CFTC around clarifying commodities and securities and who's going to be, covering the regulations on existing regulations with interpretation. Long overdue, and also address the Howey test, right? So long overdue, and now we've also had updates about the draft coming out of the Clarity Act, out of the Senate Banking Committee, and of course that there where the banks kind of won, didn't they? They kind of won there on the stablecoin yield, but opens up the whole world of DeFi yield, right? Active yield. So that's positive. So we're going to watch stuff there. I still think there could be some innovations in the stablecoin space using that definition because it's pretty vague. So we'll see what happens there for the stablecoins. Innovation is the name of the game of crypto to circle around these laws. But that law is moving forward as well. So we've got a number of pro-crypto laws and regulations and proposals and policies moving forward for crypto at the moment, and that's a game changer. It's really going to set us up for the runaway maturity of the blockchain and crypto. You got to be excited, got to be super excited for that. So that's pretty bullish. Let's jump to the markets though. On the Bitcoin, we can see at the moment, really been testing that upward channel there, and still testing the bottom channel as well. That we were hopefully finding the bottom. We had back on the 6th of February here on the daily chart here on Coinbase, we had a $60,000 touch, right? So we were down towards the bottom of the power law. So if you guys are not familiar, power law generally considered as the best model for Bitcoin, has seemed to track it pretty well with the bottom and the tops. And it's touched 60. So 60 is kind of the towards the bottom of that. There is the power law floor law. I got to get my tongue twister out there, but that's down to maybe 53k. Some people thinking we could do that, but I don't know about that. I think we've been holding up pretty well here at 71. So it'd have to be some sort of market maker doing that. Remember, Bitcoin, it's got a lot of shorts, got a lot of longs, and open positions there. Shorts, of course, playing into that move if we do get a market maker deciding to tank us from here, and the shorts, of course, make that a runaway, thing. So let's see. So far, though, looking pretty good during this Iranian conflict period, sitting over 70k, and we're at the top of that range right now. So let's see if we can get back into an upward movement there after we sort of broke down that channel, didn't we? A nice little upward channel. We were going up to the top here, up to 74,000, and down to 66, then up to 76, but we broke that little channel there down to 67. But the key is that we've still got a higher low, right? Still got this higher low in place here. So just widen the channel out, and we want to get over that 72,000 mark there with the 50-day, right? 72,117. It's actually gone up, right? Gone back up, so that's cool. And then the 200-day sitting at 86,000. So we want to get back over that 200 now, pretty key there, and head back up to the top of this range, maybe starting to push high 70s, like 78k at the top there. So if we just extend that out a little bit there, sort of heading up towards here, 78k is would be pretty nice, and getting back over there, that push right in the middle between the 50-day and the 200. That would start rounding us up on the 50-day and start heading towards a golden cross, and that would be truly glorious, right? So pretty exciting there. We're still playing at this death cross, but actually we've got lots of fundamental things happening in this zone. Of course, we've just had that $42 billion announcement from Michael Saylor with strategy, and that's super bullish, right? That is super bullish because that's all going to be buying more Bitcoin. Now, we saw the stretch product last night got to, I think, 99 cents, 99 cents, 1 cent away from the at the market or ATM printer where it starts issuing new shares for the stretch product, as you guys know, which is vampiring the old bond and money markets and bring all that capital into Bitcoin to pump Bitcoin ultimately. So that's almost on, guys. I wouldn't be surprised if we get it tonight. It is about 10 days. I think we're moving into day 11, which is pretty similar to the last monthly cycle that we had. And so I think we're looking good. That's just more structural buying money, and it's going to be huge, potentially huge. We got 1.1 billion in the last week that was operating, remember? And so where will it go this time for this month? So pretty awesome stuff. Remember, it doesn't cut off to the 14th. The 15th is the cutoff period, but the 14th is the last day. So we got a whole 2 weeks. Now we got Easter in between there, but we got it's only 26th of March, so we could really get some money printing on here. And with all those new issuances there, it's huge. Like even if they did do 46 billion at the current price, that'd be about another, I think, 600,000 Bitcoin close to, and that's massive, right? That'd be insane, man. Where's the Bitcoin price going to go? So there's, that's the bullish side of it. I really find it hard to see a flaw in that right now. Obviously some people are talking about FTX and Ponzi scheme, but actually it's pretty fundamental, and it's going to be fun to see that play out. Now it's also going to have volatility in it, but actually it's all going back into the asset base, isn't it? It's not being sold, so there's none of those issues. FTX, of course, remember they were dumping it, dumping all that stuff like firewood. I think it might have been the lawyers, who knows, but they were dumping all that. And we won't get that with strategy, right? They're in the air for the long term. All right, so here at the moment, we've got $71,300, looking pretty positive, not too far away from crossing over that 2200, that 72. So let's see how we get on there. Obviously, the volatility of the Iranian conflict will play into that. So bullish news there. Now, we did get some more stuff. So we talked about Bitmine. We talked about strategy with their big news yesterday with the 42 million. 44, 42, yeah, 42, I think it is around that, and was it 44? 42, I'm pretty sure 44. So they had their stretch product and the MSTR share expansion, so that they can raise more capital that way. Obviously, stretch is the preferred because that's why you're just adding pure money, pure Bitcoin to the protocol. And we got Morgan Stanley there, Bitcoin ETF, so that's been announced. Morgan Stanley, one of the big banks, and of course we saw BlackRock. Remember, launched the Ethereum version, right? So they launched the ETH, which has staking in it. So they've moved on from just the pure ETH accumulation with the ETF. I think they've got about 7.5 billion, I think, at the moment. You go double check, but somewhere in there. I think they had a high of 15. But we also got this the ETFB coming in from BlackRock. That, of course, front run all the Clarity Act. Did you notice that? So the Clarity Act, their front run, that's like they knew, right? They knew that the banks were going to win and that the stablecoin yield wouldn't be there. So what does that mean? That means that the staking ETH yield in Ethereum is now preferred, right? It's preferred. It's the way to go. So if stablecoins aren't going to get that yield for just sitting there, you're going to get it through the staking. So it makes Ethereum staking even more powerful, guys, even more preferred, even more FOMO. And of course, BlackRock front run all that. So they knew. This is the horrible thing about these big companies. They have this inside information. They know what's going on. And sometimes they're at the table, generally speaking, in some form or another, directly or indirectly. And so they knew, and they launched their ETHB staking. So lots of games going on, guys, because big money's in play and all the big players are coming in. So Morgan Stanley here itself is coming in, this time on the Bitcoin front with the ETF MSBT. It got an official listing announcement from New York's Stock Exchange. That typically means launch is imminent here. So this is from Eric Balkahunas, one of the top ETF guys. So Morgan Stanley Bitcoin Trust announcements here. And this is going to be big. So not only do they have a lot of clients that are already into crypto, particularly Bitcoin and stuff, through directed IRAs, but actually their wealth clients are the big wealthy people, and they are looking to onboard them. So this is probably one of the avenues they're going to do it with Bitcoin ETFs. Now I'm expecting, we're getting ETFs, but I'm expecting a lot of second, third layer products coming in where you can get derivatives, just like when you stake ETH, you get SETH, things like that, and just with all the stable coins. I'm expecting a lot of exotic innovations on top of these to add yield. So it's going to be, these big banks, big client, wealthy clients, they follow yield on yield and yield, right? They're starting to get a taste for what we know in DeFi, right? Get yield on yield and yield. And so this could be really exciting, and they're going to do it in a more conservative way, generally speaking, but I think it's going to be pretty exciting where this goes. So big money coming into Bitcoin now. In addition to all that stuff we talked about, Michael Saylor, we've got another big player in the house. So exciting times. Get excited. Pretty cool. Now that brings us on to Ethereum. Ethereum at the moment is on the daily there. Let me just get rid of the overlays. Is just below the 200-day moving average. 200-day moving average at $2,194. And we got the 200-day at $2,774 right now in orange. We're just below that right now at 2,162. In some odd way, it's odd world. Big Ethereum there is looking quite decently strong, not too far away from the 200. We want to get back over that similar story that we've seen in Bitcoin, right? It's not too different here. And so we want to get over that and game on. We've had the death cross. We want to start curling up the golden cross. Boy, things are going to run, guys. Things are going to run. It's going to be run time. Hey, before we move forward, though, we've got a few comments in the chat. We've got Frank White in the house. Bang, bang, Pulse Gang. Good to see you, Frank. If you haven't checked out Frank White's doing an amazing job with the Peerless Start with this big Pulse Chain ecosystem map. Definitely well getting on that. We got Wookie in the house there. Is massive today. What Wookie is massive? What the heck are you talking about, dude? The chart is looking better for BTC. Yeah, that's right. That is true. The chart is looking better for BTC. We got Craig in the house there. Morning all. Good to see you, Craig, and welcome to all you guys in the chat there. Don't forget to get in the chat and let yourself be known. All right, so that's kind of where we are with the old Ethereum. We've got big news for Ethereum too. I told you guys it's just starting to, they're setting up the infrastructure. They're getting invested. The big banks, the big players, it is game on. It is game on. And the charts at the moment are a dream come true right now. There's always the downward scenario, and I don't want to ignore that. There's always the chance that a market maker decides to really get us some sort of capitulation. But we have seen some pretty good structural support at this level because of the ETFs, because of the digital asset treasuries, and because of the regulations in play, and actually in some odd way a beneficiary of the war, not the initial part of the war, what do they call it, the horns or something, but actually the guns, so what they call the gun period, and so we've sort of outperformed gold and things like that. So here we are though at the moment, it's getting ready for takeoff. I think $2,160, not too far away there. So that's kind of where we are. Let's check out on Bitmine Immersion, the big digital asset treasury. Just like Michael Saylor's strategy, Tom Lee's Bitmine Immersion has finally launched their Maven. Maven is live. Woo! This is big deal, guys. This is just a big deal. These guys are setting up the new monetary system, man. They're going to be vampiring all the traditional markets as well. So Maven is live, and so Bitmine there is leading a lot of the big corporates over from the stock market over into blockchain and Bitcoin, and particularly Ethereum here in this case. Maven is live, so we are open for business, and we will be the world's largest single entity staking operation. Just think about that, the world's largest single entity staking operation. A big deal there. That is huge. So it is now live. It's not just Ethereum, it is a multi-chain. I think at least Solana and a couple other chains are operating, but they're going to have multiple clients existing in the crypto market and new clients coming in to use their service. It is a big deal, guys. We're talking about Tom Lee and his connections into all the big stock market companies. It is a big deal, and that's why all the stock market companies are buying up Bitmine shares, right? They're buying up Bitmine shares. So it is a big deal. They all know. They're all on the phone. They're all coordinating here how they can make the most money because they know it's just the beginning. Small little tiny crypto market of $2.5 trillion, and where it could go to $100 trillion, $200 trillion. Well, that's where the big market's made, and the future of the monetary system will be shifting over onto the blockchain. Now, it's not going to be everything, of course, but it's going to be a big game changer because you can do The innovation and the yield that you can earn in crypto is massive compared to traditional markets. It has been the best performing market after all. But we are seeing a shift from the retail holders of the old days, all the geeks at the computers, all the people willing to take a bit of risk, shifting into now institution and corporate takeover. So we are seeing that as well. So there's pros and cons to the whole thing. PS, you can stake your Ethereum and other cryptos with us. So that is from Bitmine. Awesome stuff, right? Awesome stuff there. Let's click in on the update here and see what else they have in store. So proprietary staking solution, and they have their Bitmine now has 3,142,000 ETH staked there, representing 6.8 billion at $2,148. Bitmine remains supported by a premier group of institutional investors, including ARX, Kathy Wood, Mosaics, Founders Fund, Bill Miller, Pantera, Kraken Exchange. We know they're doing a lot of stuff with Kraken Exchange. That's all part of this puzzle, if you think about it. DCG, Galaxy Digital, and personal investor Tom Lee there for Bitmine's goal of acquiring 5%. Of course, we know they're well on their way to doing that. So let's just read out a little bit of the stuff here. Bitmine Immersion Technology is a Bitcoin and Ethereum company with a focus on accumulation of crypto for long-term investment. Today announced the official launch of Mavan, which means Made in America Validated Network. Its proprietary institutional-grade Ethereum staking platform. Mavan is designed to serve as the premier Ethereum staking destination for institutions. That's how big this is. This is a big deal. They are anchoring the whole of Ethereum chain now as the sovereign put, as the big 5% that they're heading towards. They'll have it by the end of the year, guys. You watch. Be very surprised if they don't. With a focus on security, performance, and resilience, the platform combines US-based infrastructure for institutions requiring domestic validation with a flexible, global, distributed architecture to support clients worldwide. Now, think about that's their target market, guys. This is a big deal. Originally developed to support Bitmine's own Ethereum treasury, Mavan intends to expand to serve institutional investors. Big deal. Custodians, big deal. And ecosystem partners as well, big deal. Seeking best-in-class staking infrastructure. Now, ecosystem partners, remember, they've already invested in Mr. Beast. They've got Sam Altman with the WorldCoin and the access to OpenAI. And, of course, they're going to be doing a big listing too, $1 trillion plus listing most likely, as long with Mr. Beast Industries, $1 trillion plus. So you can see all these pieces of the puzzle coming together for mass adoption as well as institutional adoption. Big deal, right? Big deal. Can't say it enough. Mavan represents a critical step in our vision to build one of the leading staking and on-chain infrastructure platforms globally, said Tom Lee, chairman of Bitmine. Because Bitmine is the largest owner of Ethereum in the world, shortly after launch, Mavan will be the largest Ethereum staking platform in the world. We plan to expand across additional proof-of-stake networks and critical blockchain infrastructure over time, and through 2026, we'll grow our efforts in areas such as on-chain vaults, post-quantum, client development, and more. So pretty awesome. As of the 24th of March, Bitmine total staked ETH stands at 3,142,643. That's $6.8 billion. And of course, Bitmine has staked more ETH than other entities in the world. And when Bitmine's ETH is fully staked by Mavan in the coming weeks, the ETH staking rewards will be nearly $300 million annually, using a 2.87% return there. In the past week, Bitmine staked another 100,000 to Mavan and intends to continue to add a scale over the coming weeks with the goal of staking nearly all of Bitmine's remaining unstaked ETH. So they're sitting at about 4.7 million. So they got another 1.6 million probably around ETH to stake at the moment. And of course, they're buying more, and they've got $1.1 billion to potentially buy maybe 550 to 600,000 more Ethereum. So they're looking like they're going to do a big buy, maybe set the market at bottom in. So pretty awesome for institutions interested in staking ETH on best-of-class infrastructure, custodians, exchanges, and other interested parties offering Mavan staking to their customers. You can contact them. Pretty bullish, right? You don't get much bigger than that. That is huge news, guys. Huge news. Well, that's how we rock and roll. So awesome stuff there. And some nice highlights in that. So kind of cool. Let's jump over. So that's pretty much the crypto markets at the moment. I hope you guys enjoyed that. They're massive updates. And man, it's just so damn exciting where things are heading. And like right now, these prices at the moment a really good place to start DCAing. Most of the time, I think 75% of the time, Ethereum has been above $2,200, and we've been sitting below that mark at the moment. So it's a really good time to accumulate, even if there is still always the scenario of one more leg down, let's say a capitulation leg. But we also know that every time we come down to this range, we always get a V recovery, right? A V recovery, and we've got the most bullish news we could possibly have. So I think we're setting up for quite the run in crypto. Get on what you can, as they say. Get on the bus while you can. Now, obviously, nothing on this channel is investment advice. You've got to do your own due diligence as well, right? So let's get into it. We're going to go to Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain finally getting some of the glory that it deserves. We've got a couple of key, really big players doing some really good stuff on Pulse Chain, which we're going to talk about. Obviously, Richard Hart is doing things around ProveX. And of course, we've also got LibertySwap also, funny enough, pretty much doing a lot of stuff Richard's talking about, and they're launching just the best in breed products on the Pulse Chain, a massive ecosystem, giving us, a crack in value. I mean, these guys are just amazing, and so we're going to get into that in a deep dive today. So I hope you guys enjoy all that. But before we do that, let's cover the markets and see where Pulse Chain is at on that one. So we've got Pulse Chain day 1049. For those that are new to Pulse Chain, it's a full system state copy of Ethereum. That snapshot was taken on the 10th of May 2023. It launched a couple of days later on the 30th of May 2023, and here we are 1,049 days later. Now, unfortunately for Pulse Chain, it was subject to the SEC with a 2-year campaign, which they got defeated. So the only time that the SEC truly got defeated was by Richard Hart, Pulse Chain, PulseX, and Hex. Yeah, they tried to sue the actual tokens and DeFi chains and things like that. It's pretty crazy. And they lost. They lost in court spectacularly. And that went from the 31st of July, only a few months after Pulse Chain launched, all the way through to the 7th of July last year, where they were resoundingly beaten. So it has got some pretty good case law now behind it. But here we are with Pulse Chain. We are still on a very mega downtrend. We're looking for the bottom, and then of course the ultimate uptrend. Well, as you can see, with all the big stuff happening in Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think we going to have that pivot point soon, and it's only going to be up and to the right. So pretty awesome stuff. Now, there were quite a few issues that happened with the system state fork. We had a lot of the top tier DeFi platforms like MakerDAO, PDI Maker, Compound, and other protocols get exploited and taken advantage of because we don't have an Oracle come over with that, right? So when you copy the contracts, the Oracles fall over with the old chain link and everything else. So we had a lot of issues happening there. But I think we're going to have a bright future in the future with some top tier DeFis, and maybe some of those old tokens will get some love again. We'll see. But certainly, we still see PDI from PDI Maker, still one of our Titan LP providers, right? So they're basically, when we look at 24-hour turnover, still in the top 8 or 9 peers is PDI contributing in that fashion, about maybe $250,000 a day, depending on the volume and what's happening. So still playing a role there. In any case, we've got the Richard Hart cause here. Pulse, of course, is the main fee coin for Pulse Chain. It's currently at 50865. It is up 2.2%. Still very much at the bottom price range, right? But up today. We've got the price, the all-time low is sitting at 5 zeros, I think 775. So we're above that. PulseX at the moment is 50639. We're up 3% there. And we got the buy and burn sitting at 8.74% on GoPulse, but apparently on Pulse Chain stats it's about 9.2. And we got Ink Token there at 37 cents, up 3%. And we've got Hex on Pulse Chain at just under 0.15 of a penny, up 3%. We did have a big buy come in yesterday too on Hex and do a nice big buy. I'm trying to remember how much it was now. It was a pretty decent amount. And they're a player that's been bridging some money over recently. I'm not sure whether they're one of these, probably one of these trader speculators, but certainly they came over yesterday. EHEX at the moment is at 5.057. That's the original OG, one of the 4 or 5 coins last bull market in 2021 that did a 10,000x. So that's there right now and super discounted. We got the token buy price of Hex on Pulse Chain and Hex on Ethereum sitting at 0.2 of a penny right now. So pretty much on the bottom end. So anyone picking up prices at this moment are getting big volumes. Once again, not financial advice, do your own due diligence. Time to time, I do get people leaving comments that say, hey, look, you talked about this and something happened. You know, sometimes there's black swan events happens with projects. They all look good. You know, they look good. Man, that's really cool. Looking great there. Those 10 features look great, but then there's something sitting behind it you don't see, right? You don't see. So from time to time that will happen. So remember, you must do your own due diligence, you know. You must do your own due diligence there. All right, so that's where we are on those. Let's go to the gas prices. We got the 0.2 of a penny for a PulseX swap right now, sitting around 700,000 beats. So it's super cheap on Pulse Chain. The validators, we saw a big jump, big loss of validators yesterday. We're still down at that level, 51,000. And the bridge there right now, let's have a look at the bridge values. Hey, we're back at 70 mil. We're fighting this line, the 70 mil line, but it's good to be back there. That's kind of where we are right now. We have 4 liquidity forks on Pulse Chain. They've been pretty successful, I would say, but we're going to get 2 more, right? We've got Vault 369 coming and potentially Coinwell. These are both going to be multi-chain liquidity forks, so we're looking forward to that too as they come forward. So I haven't heard much about the Coinwell one these days. They're obviously waiting for the market to pick up because they were supposed to launch probably in November last year, wasn't it? December. Yeah, I think December. They haven't launched, so presumably they're waiting for market conditions to pick up, which is not, you know, that's not a bad thing. That's what I would do if I was running a project. So that's kind of just wait for the turn of the events, right? Turn of sentiment, because it's pretty difficult to sail against the headwind, right? You want it behind you, the wind behind. So there we go. We're looking forward to that. So that's going to be bullish for Pulse Chain with more stable coins there. All right, and multi-chain too, right? Earning those fees. So that's kind of the overview. Let's jump into the top market movers at the moment, the last 24 hours. So here we are on Dex Screener. And of course, this is the default view. I just sorted it by 24 hours. We got ZKP. Man, it's if you want volatility, you're getting it because ZKP there was launched by Kairos from Emmett Farms. And of course, they were kind of first moving advantage with the DeFi product. We'd obviously got support with swapping and other platforms, but ZKP there got its, you buy ZKP, you stake it, and you earn ProvX, right? That's pretty much it. Well, it all depends on the volume, but volume's definitely picked up. I think it was, 5-6K yesterday, 8K there, and the price is actually holding up in US dollar terms. Looking at the pulse ratio, let's have a look at that. Yeah, still looking pretty good, so you're getting a bit of believers there. This is the 4-hourly chart, so we had a bit of volume coming in there. So, you know, people taking punts on that. And it probably will move around with the ProvX price as well as, it was launched on PubTire, so, you know, it's got a lot of big holders, so you've got to take that into account as speculative relative to ProvX. But, you know, first mover advantage, earning ProvX tokens, you know, well, it's probably got a reasonable chance to follow the life of ProvX. Got to keep awareness up though, and of course it's by Kairos, so he's got one of the better, founders on the Pulse chain there. So we'll keep a lookout for that. We got Pulse Guy in the house there. It's tied into, I think, the trifecta there with Peacock. That's doing pretty well at the moment, up 22%. We'll have a quick look at that one. And that's had a big pump today. Look at that. Woohoo! Nice. Oh, that's the weekly candle. It must. There's still most of it in the last day, so they're pretty cool. Nice bit of volume coming in there. Still a small retail play. It's, you know, liquidity 13K, 5,300 volume. So very much a small retail play, but yeah, nice little move there on that one, sitting at number 2. DFC coin hasn't had much love lately, but it's up 16% today. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's been down. Remember, had a big uptrend. We were talking about it all the time. And then it got sold off, boom, 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 all the way down. The 00047 now at 0005500, back up 60% today. So there we go. Let's have a little look at that on the daily. You can kind of see it had a kind of a big downtrend. It had a W form and then sort of broke out of that and rallied up. So it did actually get to 1/1400th of a penny. But man, pretty violent stuff, pretty risky stuff. But that's what crypto's about. That's what crypto's about. only risk 5% of your portfolio on risky stuff, because I know people love to play. So just remember, make sure at least 90-95% of your bags are in the good stuff, right? The lower risk with massive upside opportunities, because then at least you know you're going to be in the bull market with a decent bag, and all you have to do is try and sell the top or close to it, on the way up at least, and you don't have to cry about speculating in some random stuff with 100% of your bags, right? So just take that and do what that with you will. ProvX at the moment back into the top. It had been down for the last couple of days, but it's now back at number 4 to number 9 on all the main trading pairs. Remember the main trading pairs are USDC, USD Tether, DAI, and Wrapped ETH. Those are main, and then of course all these other people started, including Whale number 2, started adding all these other liquidities, which probably almost pretty getting close to equal value right now, probably. All right, so let's jump. So Prevex back at 4 zeros, 9,300. Let's have a look at the big USD pair, which is down here at number 8. We're up 13% today. And let's have a look at this. So this is the 4-hourly chart, trader's view. We got the RSI at the 4-hour view. I don't know if we've got on the daily yet. Let's have a look. It's got to be coming up. Yes, we'll get an RSI soon. It can't be too far away. But let's go to the 4-hour trading view. We've got the RSI there. We're right in the middle, 51. So, you know, we had the big high. This is the trigger to sell. We saw it roll over, called all that, right, on the show, called the bottom here at 9,000. And, of course, it rolled over, right? So the rollover went all the way to 4 zeros, 8,000, and has managed to climb back up. But it's at another crossroad right now. We've got the RSI at 51, which is positive. That gives it lots of room to move. But let's zoom in on this and remove the RSI. And we can see actually we've got some moving averages starting to kick in here on the 4-hour chart. This yellow line is the 54-hour moving average, and this turquoise line here is the 21, which is really the trader's view. So we've really got a trader's view here, and we can see we're actually busting above those prices here right now, really trying to get escape velocity, I would say. So yeah, we've also trying to get above this previous high attempt. Remember that we've got lower highs here coming down. We've got lower lows coming down. We came all the way down to here, and now we're trying to get escape velocity. A decision needs to be made. Will the bulls beat out the bears? Certainly the moving averages are looking friendly. The RSI is looking friendly, so it's certainly got a bit of wind but behind the sails. But are we going to get that breakaway? Really needs to break above. I would say it's got here 4 zeros, 97.74. But let's just say it would be nice to see it bust over that 4 zeros, 1,000. Sorry, 3 zeros, 1,000 moving ahead. So that would be somewhere up here. So just a nice clear. Oh, where's the line go? Just a nice clear move here would be really nice, right? So let me get rid of that because we've already got the line over here. I've already got it. So let's go over to 1,000. You know, this is where it should get high, but let's just be friendly and make it nice and clean and get back over this 1,000. That'd be a very positive sign that we're now starting to get higher highs, right? And we've got plenty of room in the RSI to do it. So I would suggest, more probable than not, this chart will probably move up. A little bit more work to do, certainly a decision point, but I'm going to give it more probability or not that it's going to go up there. We'll see how that goes. Obviously not financial advice because, you know, the market might decide there might be a sacrifice that decides, screw it, I need the money for a house. So I'm going to sell my massive bags. So it could be one of those buckle mental guys. And they go, screw it. I was going to wait for a couple of weeks or a couple of months to see it get pumped to 10,000x, but I couldn't wait because I got to buy my house in Florida or something like that. So that's always possible, right? Always possible there. And of course, they're still got sitting by my accounts with about 180%, 190% in there. So you just never know. You just never know. But more probable than not, on the trader there, it looks like it's going to go to the upside. All right, so there we go. That's Prevex back on the rise. Of course, Richard Hart. Now, I do have a little message from Richard Hart. Where did I find that? Richard Hart made a little message here, but we might as well get into it quickly. Richard did make a message here about proof of human. Now, you guys know I said there's a big connection to proof of human with Sam Altman, who's not a very good guy, right? There's very dodgy stuff behind there that we've seen. And but he is doing a lot of these facial recognition with the eye, using the eye to register for WorldCoin. They're looking to set up a big social media platform on the internet, probably with blockchain behind it. And so there's a lot of bad stuff there. Now they are excited about, oh, you got ID, you know, you're not a scammer, you know, and all this sort of stuff. But we all know in DeFi that as soon as you give that sort of power to people, they use it to control you. They decide what is truth in the world, and they become true fascists in the true meaning of the word. So we don't need that. We don't need that, right? That's the problem with this stuff. And so they trick everybody in. It's convenient. It's, you know, you're going to be safe and all that sort of stuff. But actually, they become authoritarians, right? And they start ruling. And we see what that's like with all the leftist platforms, right? Complete authoritarian nut jobs. And so that's a big thing. So Richard Hart chimes in here. He goes, Provex.com could do this with zero knowledge proofs. Right now, it just focuses on peer-to-peer. So, you know, we don't even need this stuff, right? That's the point. We can live in DeFi land with this sort of validation, but this is all about control ultimately, right? These guys are all about control. I mean, I think Sam Altman was all about, you know, if robots become sort of certain level agentic, then they're almost another species. You can see the left. You can know the left's going to be nuts. Then you go, oh, we got robots now. They're another whole species. They need robot rights and all this nonsense. You know it's coming, right? They can't help themselves, and so on. So we'll sort of watch that space as well. Anything mad you can think that will happen in the world, the left will come up with, right? The left will come up. So that's kind of cool from Richard. I thought it was a really good post around the ProvX. So we'll keep watching that. It's in beta technology right now, but we're going to be watching that very closely. UFO at the moment, number 10 right now, is up about a 10 point, almost 11%, along with PGC. We've got Sparta in the mix here. Sparta moving up there. We've got PDC with some of the peers, Inc. and Natropa, up 8%. So we've got UFO and PDC, both part of the same family. Then we've got Pepe meme coin, up 8% there as well at the moment. Let's have a quick look at Pepe as well, and we can see that's kind of just a bit choppy trading from the bottom, but a nice little update there today. It's all around the brand, I guess the holders there. For Investor, up almost 7% today. They've been moving down quite, moved up, moved down. It's been quite volatile, isn't it? Yeah, look at that, boom, boom, boom. But it has managed to consolidate up a bit higher here at $1.74 on the daily. But look, I mean, that was all the way up at $5.10 back in January, the end of January there. But hey, so was everything else a bit higher, right? Zero Trust, along with the Peacock trifecta, they're building a lot of DeFi. We saw them in the Monster thread over the last week. I think they're doing like over 10 different type of projects. They're at various stages, but that's Zero Trust. That's up 6.5% today. We've got Coffee Shop there. What else is in the mix? Let's scroll down here. Peacock, which we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Peacock. Peacock at 1.34 cents. So it's gained the last 2 days, just modestly, but it's up the last 2 days. Probably found the bottom there, and that's at up almost 6%. Then we've got Tropa and Unity in there. Unity from Cryptographics is up 5.9%. But let's go to the Peacock, the big pair, and let's have a look at where this is at the moment. You can see I was drawing some chartings around this. We've got the ZKX wallet in here. That's just a guide and airdrop, right? So we broke through down this, right? We broke it through it, and we came all the way down to 1.2 cents. And this was a victim, probably largely a victim. I definitely saw a couple of on-chain large wallets sell, and they went into ProvX, right? So because there was a lot of tokens that a lot of people weren't profitable in on Pulse Chain, but Peacock was definitely one of them, right? Peacock chart, as you can see, had been pretty profitable. I mean, you can see the arc there. It had held up pretty well, particularly around the Pulse ratio. And of course, this being the big heavyweight project on Pulse Chain was holding up pretty well. I mean, if you look at that, let's go to the weekly on this chart to make it a bit obvious. You can see it's actually relatively high, right? So people are sitting there, if they were lucky enough to get into Peacock, a lot of other projects, they were losing money on crypto and Pulse Chain, but in Peacock was one of the projects that they pretty much had a store of value. It was still volatile, but still had a store of value relative to others. And we saw some of the rotation in there to ProvX because it was the hot thing, right? And people speculating on where ProvX could go, right? At the moment, still ticking away here on the weekly. And of course, the pulse ratio is sitting at 1,554. We did bottom out at around 1,350. I had 1,440, so it went slightly below that. Maybe when I do my estimates, I should go like 5% below my mark. That's typically what you do for like limit orders and things like that. But it's peaked out here for 3 weeks in a row, peaked out at 2,000. It tried to break 2,000, just couldn't do it. 3 weeks it gave it a good go, just couldn't do it, and then it rolled over and came all the way down to 1,365. I mean, 2,000 and 1,365 is a lot different, right? It's a lot different, but it still held up, and 1,554 is on there. Still above the 21 weekly average, which is at 1176 on the ratio, but that is some of the action we've had there. Now back to the daily, of course, we broke down through this. If we had continued to go up, we would have bounced out of this. But we've still got the ZK wallet coming up and lots of updates. So we're going to talk about that now. RSI on the daily, just coming off the bottom, really. We're at 40, 41. So a lot of room to move if we were going to get a hyper pump into some of these big announcements coming up from LibertySwap, which we're going to talk about now. Pretty awesome. Now, we're just going to take a pause because we're going to jump into LibertySwap. We've got a lot of updates to talk about. This is what I call the crack in the Pulse Chain. When you think about the two, I would say, giants on Pulse Chain, which I call dynamic, right? I went through this list yesterday. I think we had 14 to 16 projects that I consider blue chips on Pulse Chain. But I think we've got only a few dynamic ones, right? Ones that are going to perform right now. A lot of the others will probably have to wait till Pulse Chain goes from this mega downtrend to a mega uptrend, right? Gets that pivot and moves up. And they'll all get re-rated probably in price dramatically. We've certainly got a lot of stable coins, a lot of potentiality for that to do that. But LibertySwap is building out a massive ecosystem at the frontier of DeFi, and it is going to be the juggernaut. It's dynamic. In other words, it can increase in value. Obviously, it retraced on the ProveX, competing against Richard Hart's pretty tough. But of course, LibertySwap's doing a lot of Richard Hart's vision, so it's interesting stuff, right? And they're probably going to be the first big adopter of the ProveX technology as well. So it's going to be fun. Now let's get into all the updates, because they have absolutely been all guns today with their updates. So we're going to get into that. Now I wanted to go back to yesterday because they've got here a little bit of stuff that you don't think about. You think, what sort of applications can you use LibertySwap for? Well, there's tons, obviously, and there's going to be a lot more in the future. But here they're talking about fund your Polymarket account privately and place bets using LibertySwap. Your trades should remain private with less front running. What a great feature, right? Fantastic. So people don't think about that with some of the things, but pretty cool there with the shield there. Pretty cool. So some good stuff there with that. So I wanted to highlight that. But we got the big news, right? The big news coming in. So we've been talking about this wallet, this ZKX wallet, and of course we knew that was coming at the end of March, coming to testing. Well, here they are. They've done a little bit of leaking here, and they've got currently in internal testing the real privacy wallet for EVM, and of course built on the Kokaku framework, supports Pulse Chain, Railgun, Tornado Cash, and LibertySwap products natively. I mean, think about this, guys. That is fantastic. That's on Pulse Chain, man. It's multi-chain too, but it's based out of Pulse Chain. We are so lucky to have these guys do this. This is so good. Keeping, Pulse Chain super relevant, super innovative, because you can fork Ethereum, and we've got the robustness of Ethereum. We've got EIP 1559, all the other good stuff. We can, affect the S-load function and all these other things we can do, but here we are. You've still got to innovate. You've got to innovate because the market's innovating, and that's a big part of crypto. Crypto, particularly DeFi, innovates way more. Wall Street's gone, right? That's the old school stuff. Let's see whether we can, get block A, block B, block C properties, make a little pyramid. We know what happened with that in 2008. It's old school, man. All the innovation is some, 17-year-old punk sitting in his garage designing a new DeFi tokenomics, right? This is where we are right now, and seeing how they can turn that into millions of dollars, right? We got lots of stuff happening, right? It's lots of, but LibertySwap bring us the professionalism and, of course, the high-end intelligence in some of the stuff they're doing. So fantastic. And you can see this is coming to Chrome Web Store once they go commercial, once they go live. It's going to be on the Chrome Web Store. Who else do we know that's on the Chrome Web Store? That's a big heavyweight. One of the two big heavyweights I call is Internet Money Wallet, right? So they're out there too. So we're going to have two key wallets. This one here, of course, is going to have privacy, but of course, we're going to talk about what they're doing soon, because Internet Money the other day contacted them and said, hey, you got an API? And of course, LibertySwap here responding today around APIs so that third-party partners can use and, of course, get this scaled up in terms of its opportunity to the market. So pretty awesome. I still think marketing is coming too. I still think this team is going to do some level of marketing. So I'm just keeping a lookout for that as well. Now, they obviously get a lot of network, a lot of social media, a lot of word of mouth. But I just have a feeling that there's probably marketing coming down the chain there as well. So they've got all the CS Shield Your Assets, and they've got a lot of little sneak peeks of the different features. It's kind of cool, and you can see the kind of the wallet interface there. Obviously, we've got the website, and it's got some similarities there, public and private. So you can keep on doing the public stuff like a normal wallet, or you can do the private stuff and use some of that technology like Railgun and stuff. So pretty awesome there. Now you can see in here they've got the balances. They've got obviously the wallet, and you've got all the usual features that you might expect. And then, of course, you've got the balances there. You can refresh it. You've got the gas prices. You got send. You got shield if you want to shield it, privacy. You got swap and bridge. you can bridge that over. Obviously, that's been where LibertySwap kind of started, was being the big bridge technology, along with other bridges that we had like Ramp Now and others. Apps, you got all the apps in there. Apps, what apps, guys? What apps? Think about it, man. These guys, remember when they did LibertySwap V2, they allowed themselves to hook in all this DeFi. In other words, they can hook in lending, they can hook in potentially stablecoins, lots of things, staking, meme coin yields. I mean, lots of things these guys could head down, which I think is pretty cool. So what apps will be in there? Presumably it's going to be all their primary apps, maybe a few partner apps, who knows, we'll see. I don't know whether they're going to have an ecosystem apps for everything, whether it's going to be custom apps, and of course those custom apps will be pretty valuable. And look at that last one there, guys. Rewards, OMG, it's coming, man. It's coming, the juggernaut's coming, and the market will love this stuff, right? And of course we saw this beneficiary, we saw the Clarity Act, coming out where the banks essentially won the battle there on stablecoin yields, which makes active yields far more important. And of course that suits LibertySwap active yields and of course rewards there. So DeFi time is here, and of course makes Pulse Chain, particularly chains like Pulse Chain, more valuable just with that proposition. So pretty cool. We've got some balances here: tokens, NFTs, DeFi activity, all networks. Obviously this LibertySwap's multi-chain. Pretty cool. So these guys are combining normal wallets that we're used to, like Rabby Wallet, MetaMask, all sorts of stuff, and they're combining it with privacy and Railgun and all this sort of stuff. They combine those two together, and as far as I know, this has not been done before. Let me know in the chat if you've seen something similar. There could be other teams trying to do this sort of thing at the same time, but certainly this is the frontier of this technology, and of course these guys are well advanced, rapid deployment. Have you noticed that? This suggests to me that these guys are highly educated, probably come from professional backgrounds, and these guys are like the A team. They really are delivering incredible rollouts here, and we're lucky to have them on the Pulse Chain. Pretty awesome. And so far, yeah, the cool thing I like what they say, they do what they say. They do what they say, and they've been very consistent month after month, and the ecosystem is expanding and expanding. It is fantastic. So there we go. Internal testing there. We've shown a little snapshot of that. Everyone's pretty excited. Yeah, look at that. Up only, says Sean. Absolutely. Looking forward to it. Yeah, Pulse Chain software is getting better, replacing those services one by one. Yeah, absolutely. So cool stuff happening there. As you guys know, we've also faced a number of wallets that have removed support. We have partial support like AKX wallets and things like that, Rabby Wallet, but you got to add in a lot of stuff. They're very political, those places, very anti-DeFi. They're supposed to be DeFi, but they're anti-DeFi, and true DeFi is being brought out by Pulse Chain. LibertySwap and Richard Hart are leading the way with that stuff. Very exciting, and and it looks like Internet Money jumping on as well. So some cool stuff there. Let's move forward. Blockcast, of course, getting the news. We got 55,000 followers on Blockcast. Obviously, we had some really great X spaces there with Blockcast, and it looks like they've pushed out this wallet. The Real Privacy Wallet is here. ZKX, the Web3 wallet for EVM is coming. And of course, the exciting stuff there. So they've put it out to the broadcast there as well. This is what I like to see. Big marketing to whole new users across the X and stuff. Obviously, other platforms would be cool too. And we just bring on potentially hundreds, if not thousands, of new users. And of course, then they spread do the word of mouth, and everything starts to really lift up there. And of course, you continue on with the marketing. So kind of cool. So very nice stuff happening there. Let's see what else there. We got the gasless mode 10 hours ago. So gasless mode is back after a major build. So they're always refining their features, trying to make things better and better and better. Designed to protect funds from block reorganizations while still guaranteeing fast transaction speeds. Obviously, we always get block reorganizations every time, every now and then. This new version of can sponsor gas fees, not just USDC, but also DAI and USD1. Now, interesting that they've added USD1. Obviously, the Trump family is issuing that with Eric, and so USD1 there. Hopefully, we'll pick up a little bit of attention there. I know that Rackham Michelle's, I'm pretty sure that he said he had interacted with the Eric, I think, Trump family, so I don't know what angle will happen there, but that'd be interesting in the future if anything comes of that. Transfers of these assets between Ethereum, BNB, Polygon, Base, Arbitrum, and Pulse Chain are now completely free and gasless, both into and out of Pulse Chain, so frictionless, ease of use, fantastic, right? Some bullish stuff there. Very nice work, says Robin. I miss gasless mode. Didn't realize how good it was until it was gone. Thank you. Absolutely, gasless solves most of the problems with wallet design on EVMs, especially with MetaMask and IM wallets with our community. Now, you guys know stuck transactions have been eliminated. So that's the glory of that. You guys know how frustrating that used to be on MetaMask. Oh my God, it was so bad, wasn't it? It was so bad. It was horrendous. Sometimes it would ruin a trade. You wouldn't be able to do a profitable trade. Sometimes you just get stuck there. I mean, it was just pretty bad. Obviously, there was a couple of methods to try and get out, but sometimes it just didn't seem to happen. Yeah, so pretty cool. Gas spikes and lost funds due to incorrect gas estimation no longer an issue. Amen to that. Amen to that. I think that deserves another clap, don't you guys? I think it means another clap. That was awesome. So, yeah, brilliant stuff coming from these guys. You never have to worry about accidentally paying $100,000 in gas due to a wallet glitch. It's all taken care of. Amen to that. Amen to that. Yeah. So just incredible day of announcements and releases today from LibertySwap. And wait, there's more, guys. We're only getting warmed up. It really is exciting what these guys have been releasing today. So, targeting World Liberty Financial and Eric Trump, we now support the USD1 for Pulse Chain assets. Users holding USD1 on, that's a stable coin if you guys are not familiar. Obviously, USD kind of gives it away. On BNB chain, can swap into any Pulse Chain assets with zero gas fees, completely gasless. Think about that. It's taking out all the thinking. If you got USD1 on BNB, you can come on the Pulse Chain and buy anything you want. Essentially, that's on the list, which is probably just about everything, if not everything. You can seamlessly purchase Richard Hart's Hex and other Pulse Chain assets instantly using USD1. Beautiful stuff. And so the word just needs to get out there, all that sort of stuff. Very exciting stuff there. And look at that, USD1 on there. Come on, guys. Just another epic thing from the team. Really is awesome. Right, that horn's just to keep you awake in case it's too much excitement. Sometimes you pass out. It is pretty cool. So awesome stuff happening now. Now they've got a few more comments here. So most users' bad experience on Pulse Chain are caused by gas spikes. And everyone knows that, right? Especially when the chain's under a lot of pressure, and the bridge too. Remember the bridge when we were under massive pressure? People trying to buy and sell, and but the gas price is so high. Overload. What do we get to 100 million beats or something silly, something crazy? Overloaded public RPCs and wallet execution issues. If ZKX wallet runs on its own infrastructure by default, with options for users to choose others, makes Pulse Chain transactions gasless and potentially free, and delivers a better UX and not just UI. So UX means user experience, UI means user interface, and so that experience is really important. Then it could resolve these issues and make trading on Pulse Chain feel much smoother, similar to Solana. And that Solana is pretty easy, right? So kind of cool there. We got a nice little, we actually got a little tab here on the activity tab, and we got the swap bridge there. So a little bit more insights into the wallet with the transaction there. So very, very cool. Emmett Farm says, Pulse Chain feeling like Solana in terms of smoothness while maintaining decentralization and privacy. The speed and simplicity that's made Solana popular without centralizing that made it vulnerable. Smooth. Yeah, smooth there. Very, very cool. Isn't that image from the terrible movie? I don't know. But anyway, yes, Treasure, Ledger, and Keystone. Can you import your Treasure keys to use on the ZKX front? Yes, Treasure, Ledger, and Keystone. Isn't that cool? They're supporting all those. I know that's fantastic. So kind of cool. What else we got there? Ridiculous. There's always a bar. We got there. What's the quick UI comment? Thank you. I will pass it along to our team. All right. Can you move apps and rewards from the blue banner section? Swap Shield and Send Bridge will be the most important functions. Action rewards can be moved into the secondary tabs next to NFTs and DeFi. Oh yeah, that would make sense. Yeah. All right. So cool. Let's jump up here. We've got some more stuff going with the comments. The old gasless component dependent on gas-sponsored medium wallets. It has sponsored over 100,000 transaction guys in and out of Pulse Chain, covering more than $15,000 worth of gas across all blockchains in the past year alone. So this is some of the commitment that LibertySwap's to make it easy to come over on Pulse Chain. Now all coin pools and gas sponsorships are batched into a single transaction. This improves speed, saves gas, and reduces the chances of stuck transactions in blockchain or reorganizations. Some upgrades are on the way for LibertySwap and Liberty Shield. Isn't that awesome? So pretty cool. Yeah, nice stuff happening there. All right, let's scroll back up here. We've got even more coming. We're going to scroll up past all this. Now, there are some more future steps coming. I told you that LibertySwap have got major updates today, and we're just flowing through them one by one. LibertyX and LibertySwap next stops. And remember, LibertySwap there is essentially the bridge back on and off Pulse Chain. LibertyX there, of course, is the big DEX aggregator on Pulse Chain, right? So pretty awesome combination there. We're rolling out powerful new features designed to maximize yield, liquidity, and trading opportunities for our users and partners. Number one, they're going to be doing enhanced liquidity for LibertyX. Remember the DEX aggregator, there's a new product they just launched. It was the big one this month. And next month, of course, is the big wallet. So we're looking good here. Users can now earn yield by providing liquidity in our V3 and V forks. So they're really now to do some of the stuff I wanted them to do around yield offerings. And this, I think, is just the beginning of the yield offering products. Really is huge. Users can now earn yield by providing liquidity in our V3 and V4 forks. So this is coming next steps. This is where I went on the head, and we knew they were going to go there, but it's kind of cool. Capture trading fees while supporting deep, efficient markets. Very cool. Obviously, you guys know liquidity is king, which is why I always go on about Bitcoin and Ethereum, because 90% of the liquidity is essentially coming through there on the action. So we want to have this build up all the time, and we've often seen LibertySwap try to build up the liquidity of Peacock, subject to sellers, of course, and market dynamics. But this is the idea. You want to get bigger, thicker markets there for the trading, better results, bigger players, all that sort of stuff. Stable swap for stable coins, zero slippage fixed rates and yield opportunities. Our stable swap pools strengthen Pulse Chain liquidity and provide predictable returns for liquidity providers. Obviously, we've seen Richard Hart do some of the stuff like that with stable coins, trifectas on PulseX. We've obviously seen the balance of forks, which are more efficient for stablecoin swaps, and LibertySwap's playing their role also in thickening up the stablecoin. And of course, we're expecting more stablecoins as one of the mega themes on crypto to continue, regardless of the Clarity Act, right? So, big deal there. Stable swap pools strengthen Pulse Chain liquidity, provide predictable returns for liquidity providers. I don't know, maybe we'll see even all that idle stable coins. Apparently, it's around about 37 million based on CryptoSolve's numbers. Maybe we'll see some of that enter into some of these LPs and get off the ground and start actually contributing to the financial dynamics of Pulse Chain. And obviously, some people are hoping that's going to pump the thin liquidity. So yeah, we'll keep a look at that. Maybe this is the product. Maybe this is the product that Richard Hart's been waiting for. I don't know. What do you guys think? But anyway, that's going to be interesting. So that's pretty cool coming. Comprehensive API launch, and this is a game changer too. It makes you, when you think about all the potential applications for this, isn't it getting crazy? Getting crazy there. It's really maturing Pulse Chain, taking the base of Pulse Chain, that fork, and now adding all this high-level DeFi, frontier DeFi on it. It's like the Richard Hart vision, isn't it? It's very similar there, which is we've been harping on for months and months about. Comprehensive API launch. All Liberty products will soon be accessible via API, allowing dApps and services to integrate our solutions directly, unlocking seamless access and expanded utility across the ecosystem. Pretty awesome, right? So I'm going to repost that. Very, very cool. Order matching competition on LibertyX. This is number 4. We enable market makers to compete for order flow. Now, this is the stuff that's needs to develop, particularly for LibertyX. They got intent-based trading now, and of course that means getting off-market and on-market liquidity. And they want to boost that up. They want to get that more liquidity added, get better rates and bigger players playing, right? So we're enabling market makers to compete for order flow. Coins like Zero, PDI, Pulse, and Pump Tires coins can be traded directly with users at zero fees. By strategically setting prices above or below liquidity pool rates, market makers can capture the full flow of buy and sell orders. The result is a faster execution, larger trades, and greater control over your market making strategy. LibertyX is not just a trading platform, it's a competitive edge for serious traders there. And of course, the more serious traders come in there and feel really confident and comfortable getting good orders, the more likely they're to trade, more volume, and so it only benefits Pulse Chain moving forward. So very cool on that front. So another nice one there from Liberty. So it looks like I'm going to repost a few of these things. Pretty awesome there. So that is kind of cool. Big updates. That's all stuff coming. Next steps for those particular products, LibertyX and LibertySwap. But let's keep going. We keep going. We're not finished yet. Pretty cool. We got 5 hours to go. We said trading on Pulse Chain should feel as simple and accessible as trading on Pump Fund. We've learned a great deal from studying these application designs. We're doing our best to apply these lessons thoughtfully. We're working on to rebuild Liberty's products with a strong focus on usability and accessibility. At the same time, we recognize that security and privacy matter deeply. We aim to give users the option to take a slower, more conservative approach when using our products, and we continue to learn from what our users need. So there we go. That is from LibertyX there. Let's scroll back up here and sorry, LibertySwap. Let's see here. Now this is pretty interesting. You often wonder where this is leading, but obviously they do a lot of buybacks and LP build-ups, and sometimes they do burns for Peacock. Peacock is the official token for LibertySwap, and they've got here, I won't face Pulse Chain and Richard at the low price. Get ready for some sweet buy orders from Liberty. This 4 hours ago, team adding more, not less. How about that? So, even though we had, a bit of retrace here going on, let's have a look at the old chart here. Zoom in on the daily. We had this retrace, it lasted about 4 or 5 days, maybe 5-6 days actually, from the top here. And then we had a little pause and then a couple more. So really, probably more like 8 days or something. If you take all the red candles, we're bouncing now, 1340. We've got all these bullish things coming, and so we're going to see where the chart goes from here. Typically it's delayed. We have a delayed impact, but sometimes it front runs. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. It looks like LibertySwap's going to do some more buying. So, taking more of the stuff off the market. They've been doing a lot of buying all throughout. And so, yeah, more Liberty, more Peacock inside their bag. So keep a lookout for that. And so, yeah, how big will it be? Are they going to do some big ones? Deploying fund sets raiding Marikup. Yeah, getting people excited. Where you're all getting all this moolah, definitely not from sandwich businesses as well. Now, here's the question, right? Here's the question. So, obviously, these guys use a certain amount of fees from some of their products. They're obviously paying for a lot of gas fees as well. But they are well funded, right? They're well funded, and they are doing a lot of Richard's vision, and they seem to have a bit of buying power there. So interesting to see where this goes. Now, Crypto Sparbook was supposed to be in their team, and he did a video the other day, just basically summarizing some of the stuff I've been talking about. And it's interesting that he would do a video on that and associating it to Richard Hart. So I don't know, it's interesting stuff there. Whatever's happening there, so kind of cool. What else we got going? Let's scroll up here. We're going to scroll up to these. And so 10 hours ago, which I didn't cover, LibertySwap launched limit orders. Now, we've saw recently Curve launch limit orders using a Switch API. Now, remember, the founder of Switch is Brandon, formerly Rags to Riches, who is obviously a big Pulse Chain influencer, but a real mega developer. He's got a developer team that has been building tons of projects for people on Pulse Chain and Ethereum and other chains. And of course, he's got his own Switch, which in the monster thread, number 46, got hit 10,000 switches, which is pretty amazing. So that's basically swaps. So that's really starting to, get some nice targets there. But now LibertySwap has also done their own limit order technology, not using Switch API, but their own. And we're excited to announce that limit orders for LibertyX. Remember, LibertyX is the big swapping DEX aggregator that they're enhancing for traders to use, as well as liquidity, using intent-based trading. They're intent-based and gasless to set with a reliable execution mechanism. Orders are set to fill or kill, allowing you to spread them out to work with Pulse Chain's low liquidity. So you can set, if you're wanting to sell, you can set them at different prices to hit to sell certain quantities. Or if you're wanting to buy, you can buy at lower prices. Set that to try and get traded. So you got all that features now. And I did do a big post on that, which we'll go and check quickly since it's relevant here. Outputs are executed at the best available price or better for users. Zero protocol fees, zero gas, pretty seamless there. And there's an example. LibertyX, you got Peacock, PDI. I don't know why they've got Peacock selling for PDI though. What the hell? Did they not think about that when they posted this? Should be the other way around, mate. Should be the other way around. PDI for Peacock. Flaming doogies. Anyway, there we go. That's the spill there. Peacock pie, not PDI. Not PDI. I've got to put that in there because it's too funny. All right, so kind of cool. So we got all that stuff happening there. All right, so that is kind of cool. Let's go find my my post on limit orders because it's down here somewhere. I've been posting a lot of stuff, so it might take a little bit to find, but it's down here somewhere. I'm pretty sure. Obviously, amidst a lot of other posts. What did I go there? No, not that one. That's the monster thread. Might be a bit further down here. No, not that one. There's elections. Not one either. It's not too far down here. It can't be too far left. Chuck Norris. Oh, man. Poor Chuck Norris. Or at least poor everyone else out there. Chuck Norris is pretty awesome. But let's scroll down. We're going to scroll down a bit further. Oh, boy. How far down did I post this thing? I didn't think it was that far down. That's how much I've been posting lately, guys. Pretty active. Pretty active. Let's have a look here. All right. We must be getting pretty close. Maybe I should have just done. Maybe I should have just spun the that. Here it is. Here we go. So Switch.win, they got limit orders. Curve's got limit orders now. LibertySwap's got orders with Liberty X. So we've got other protocols that do orders, but not enough. We didn't have enough, and not enough bigger ones. So now we're really getting a maturity in the limit order space. So now you guys can set limit orders. It's really great if you want to do a number of strategies. One is if you're asleep at night, you're a bit worried about something, you want to put a limit order in case you want to exit out of that position. And then now you got some, a lot of options now to do it on Pulse Chain. So we got buy the dip is one strategy. Place buy limit orders below the current price. Take profit at sell at resistance. Set sell limits orders above the current price. Scaling in dollar cost averaging with limits. Place multiple buy limit orders at progressively lower prices. Those sort of things. Scaling out, partial profit taking, placing several limit orders at higher price levels, sell portions of a position. You could do that. Grid range trading, sell a grid of buy prices, limits, below and sell limits above current price. Repeatedly buy low, sell high in sideways markets, often automated via bots. And that's the other side of it. We'll probably get coders using bots to use these limit orders and things potentially. Obviously, there's other things out there like Tetra that try to give you enable to design limit orders and things too. It's more of a custom thing. Volatility protection, discipline entries, use limit orders instead of market orders, entropy crypto market. So there's a few strategies there. Key principle: use limit orders when price control is greater than speed of execution. Limit orders give precision and remove emotion, but risk non-execution if price never reaches your level. So there we are. Tip is, of course, combined with basic TA support resistance for better placement. So there we go. That is something I put together there. Hopefully that was helpful because, it's one thing to have limit orders. Some people don't know, what they're really used for. And it's there we go. It's a couple of strategies there. 6, I think there were 6. All right, so that is kind of cool. Now let's get back into the rest of the market. So we're looking for, obviously, Peacock with the big upgrades happening. Big roadmaps, lots of stuff coming. And of course, the next big thing is the ZKX wallet there and airdrop too. If you're holding Peacock, the airdrop there. But I think they've got staking and rewards coming. They've got the rewards thing there, guys. So keep a lookout. All right, so that's kind of cool. We talked about all that. Let's scroll down a bit further here. Number 26 at the moment, we've got Zendog, part of the Peacock group as well. ALGO Hex derivative up 5% there. A Reserve Tay there. I think there's a James Maria one's 5%. Teddy Bear James Maria 5%. Smorg right now at number 32, up 5% there. Doubt Token, one of the big meme coins there, up by 4.7%. We've got a lot of the top tiers there. Coming down here a bit further, OG Web Chef at number 42 is up 4% dominance. Vouch, of course, one of the blue chips, but we're waiting for the pulse to do a reversal. That is up 4% right now at the big validator. Curve Token, of course, with this new switch, new limit orders there based on Switch API, up 3.7%. We've got Mafia Coin from Rack and Michelle sitting up 3.6%, 37 cents. And what else is going on there? Liquid Loans at number 50, up 3.5% there as well. Scroll down here a bit further, see what else is around. All the way down here, we got Emmett Farm at $1.13, pretty much our leading farm, up 2.3% right now. Sitting still pretty strong at $1.13, so they're doing well. Well done to Chorus. What else is going on there? High yields on Emmett Farm, of course. Most Wanted, another one of our top meme coins, up 2% right now. Sitting at 29/100th of a penny. We might have a quick look at those two actually, both the Most Token and Doubt, just to quickly see where they are. But they're both, I think, doing pretty well. Gophers is our first 404 contract from Dipcatcher. Of course, he's the one that did the Hex derivative products, Maximus. Brilliant during the bear market. I mean, they soaked up, 1.8 billion or something. Massive impact there. And of course, one of the two big whales out in the future is going to be the Maximus stake, right? It's going to be the Hex Gold whale and the Maximus stake out there, and probably some of their IA wallets, right? Those are the big ones. out past 2030. So we'll keep a look out for that. What else we got going? We got Remember the 5th of September, up about 2% from OG WebChef as well. Top Hat tied into Peacock here, sitting up 1.6%, sitting at 000988 at the moment. So that's from Crypto Coffee. PTC the Greys here down at 00014. So come back a little bit, but still up about 1% at the moment. And of course, Prayer Banana doing a great job out there. Got some pretty big heavyweight influences behind it, like B Roots and Ian Heinisch and stuff. What else is coming down? We're just coming down. So we've got about 91 coins, which are in the green. So that's a better day than normal. Even though we're still on the bottom, at least we've got 90% of the coins greeny on trending. And then we've got a few that are in the red. Got a little bit of profit taking here on True Farm, down 4%. And one of our other top farms now, sitting at 74 cents. And Sun Minimal, our big protocol that's apparently supposed to be moving to Solana, but never does. This would have been one of our major catalysts if they had committed to staying and they were using their buy and burn. The buy and burn must have, I don't know, could have 20 million bucks in or something. And imagine that capital flowing in on the Pulse chain. But yeah, I haven't been watching their videos because it's all in Deutschland, German, so it's a little bit hard to follow. You know, I pick up a few words like sprechen Sie Deutsch, speaking the German, but you know, it's not much. And the translator's not the best there. So imagine doing an update based on a false translation. You know, it's like, oh damn it. Anyway, so that's kind of where we are right now with the market there. Yeah, so that's kind of the play. Prevex on the move, and they're doing well with the ZKP. Peacock there, sort of rising, holding up pretty well, building out some pretty awesome stuff. May see big moves with the Peacock in the next couple of weeks, so keep a look out for that. So some good stuff there. How we're up to an hour and 25. My goodness, we've been going for a while, but what a show, eh? What a show. Unbelievable. Well, all the big things happening, and during a war, for goodness sake. Which looks like it's pretty much won, let's be fair. I mean, it's just depending on how they want to seal the deal over the next few weeks. So let's see where we're going to go here. We've got Bitcoin on the move. We've got the ETFs coming in, the big banks coming in. We've got the digital asset treasuries leading the way, providing structural support, expanding massively their potential to vampire the private sector market. We're going to be funding the Bitcoin pump and the rest of crypto. We've got Ethereum there, going to be taking over the new monetary system, the finance market, with the big players coming in, and of course the digital asset treasury there scooping up a lot of the Ethereum. It's going to be huge. Helping all the traditional markets cover the pulse over the crypto through Ethereum, the big payment rails, everything else, all the big themes, particularly tokenization, AI payments, creative payments, you name it, it's all coming. And it's exciting. So, and then Pulse Chain's starting to get some really quality leading DeFi rolling out, and hopefully, my hope is that more Pulse Chain influencers will start backing the better protocols, right? That's the hope. That we always have speculation and memes and everything else. That's great, and we love that in crypto. But actually, we also want a big part of the market to start maturing so that we become a more valuable chain. That's how you become a more valuable chain. You get some of these blue chips start to get re-rated. Like I say, I think we've probably got about 14 to 16 blue chips now on Pulse Chain. Most of them probably won't move until Pulse Chain does a reversal in trend. And then, of course, we've also got the magic carpet ride, right? All the different dials and levers that Richard Hart can do, both financial and non-financial, in terms of moving the chain. We saw last year he made a lot of moves around inflation, around protocols, things like that. And so I think we're warming up for this year. I think it's going to be even more of the same, probably accelerated. Because Richard said last year, I'm more interested in Pulse Chain season than altcoin season, and we definitely see him on the move. He's doing what he can within the market sentiment. So very cool. Keep a lookout for that. Prevex is currently on the move too. What else are we going to say? Exciting times, man. So big shout out to all the teams building. Whether you're big or small, you guys are making a contribution. It's very exciting, and from the Crypto Night Show, we love covering it all, and also helping with promotions. We obviously help with promotions, both on a YouTube and X, as well as through the Monster Thread publication that comes out every week. Big shout out to MVS Crypto, the editor-in-chief and promotional lead for the Crypto Night Show. They're doing a lot of great work out there too. So if you're a project team out there, you want to get support, just hit either myself up or hit MVS up, and we can help you with getting promotion, because you can build the greatest thing in the world, but if people aren't hearing about it, then it's not much use of it. So you're competing against a lot of other signals amongst the noise. So you got to fine tune that signal. All right, I think that's it. An hour and 28 minutes is basically an hour and a half. We'll catch you again either tomorrow, or I might do another stream tonight. I actually want to do some TA stuff on Pulse and PulseX and stuff, so I may do that later on today. But I hope you guys have enjoyed the show today. What a ton of alpha drops at the moment. It is, what a great show it's been. I've enjoyed it. Hope you have too. All right, take care, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, hit the follow button. And if you want to join Strategy Club, links in the video description and pinned to the top of X. I'll catch you again in the next live stream. All right, take care and bye for now.